Wait on him. Hit it!
All right, Rocket football fans, it's playoff time. Here we are ready for Fort Knox coming in. And Coach Courtney, right off the bat, I want to remind everybody, this is a 6:30 p.m. start, new start time. So is that to accommodate Fort Knox? Let them
It
get home
is.
early?
They asked if we would do it early, and no problem as long as officials could do it, and they could. So, yeah, just on their end, just to help them out a little bit.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Coaches Show, the Gaige Courtney Coaches Show, brought to you by a number of fine sponsors here in Marion, Kentucky, and presented by Whitetail Properties, Agent Mark Williams. We have a couple of guests here today, non-players. These are the managers. They're the glue that keeps this thing rolling for, 14, 15 games maybe this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Looking good. So we've got 10 under our belt and 6 wins and 4 losses. We have Laycee Lynn here. She's a senior manager.
Laycee.
Laycee Lynn. I mean, there's so many of these Lynn girls. Laycee Lynn.
Junior.
She's a junior. And Callie Dempsey, who is a senior.
That's right.
So I got to get this right. Lindsay was a manager too.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not just completely out of my mind, but sometimes I do get.
He did spell Laycee right, though.
Good.
Yeah, make sure I put that so I don't say it wrong again. So Fort Knox rolls into here. Coach Courtney, a team we've only seen one other times in the history of Rocket football. That was back in 2016, opening round of the playoffs back then, and we had them 49-16, pretty easy run of it. But this team's a little better this year. They come in here 4-6. Of course, we're 6-4. Won 4 of our last games in a row. And Fort Knox is a team. I watched a little film on them, not a whole lot, but man, they got a lot of weapons. They're all over the field.
Yeah, they do. They got a lot of nice pieces. I've talked to their coach a lot. He's checked out our website, and he's kind of been communicating with him. Seems like a really nice guy. It sounds like he has the program moving in the right direction, and he just kind of talked about the challenges that they have with. He said he has, I believe, 13 seniors and got 7 of them right before the season started. And it just kind of with the military school, just kind of how that works for him. And he just talked to me about it. But seemed like a really nice guy. But like you said, I think they got a lot of nice pieces. It's just consistently getting them there. But, if they get in here in the summer, to me it makes sense that they're only getting better and better. And I would think that. Definitely an opponent that we have to take very serious and that I can tell are very well coached. We had the Bethlehem film of it, and Bethlehem handled us pretty well, and they lost that game by quite a bit, but really did some things to hurt them and slow them down, and I just thought really did a good job. So we got to come in and play well.
As you mentioned, they had 46 kids on the roster, and 37 of those weren't on the roster last year.
Right, and that's tough.
Real tough.
Just to build.
The continuity is just not there.
Yeah, that's just really tough to do, and you're just building every year. I can't remember exactly. Building the plane as we're flying, I believe, is how he described it. And I think
military
that's a good
analogy.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have any other than Bethlehem. We don't have any common opponents. And, of course, we were in the game with Bethlehem in the third quarter. It kind of got away from us there at the end, but Bethlehem beat them pretty good. They scored 1 touchdown in that football game. Otherwise, it was a blowout. But they also lost to Fort Campbell, the annual military grudge match, I guess, if you will. And so Fort Campbell beat them, but Caldwell County and Murray, 2 teams we have played, shut out Fort Campbell. I don't know, it's hard to connect all those dots.
Yeah, football math is a tough one to do.
But anyway, Fort Campbell comes in here, 6:30 p.m. start time. We won't take just a moment to recognize some of our partners. Frazier Law Firm in Marion, Kentucky, Bart Frazier and his team. Riley Tool and Machine, Todd Riley, voice of the Rockets, and he does all sorts of things over there for the community at Riley Tool and Machine and beyond. He works all over the country. Hodges Sports and Apparel, that's where your game day gear is at. First United Bank, Charlie Day for your loan. See Charlie Day. And, of course, Mark Williams, agent for Whitetail Properties. Coach Courtney, let's talk a little about Fort Campbell, and then we'll visit with these girls just a little bit. First of all, I do want to say this. I understand we were talking before you came in the door. They said they had to run a little scout team today.
Did you? Did you have to stand there and do some scout?
Coach Brown got us
Yeah.
So you filled in as Fort Knox linebackers, is that right?
I think so,
Linemen
yeah.
and linebackers, yeah.
Yeah. How many tackles did you make, Lace?
Laycee made about 4, I think.
Yeah. How many did you make, Callie?
I
think
was
it's-
a little stone backish. I didn't. She took on Travis Blazina. I stood back.
We had Travis Blazina and Lane West. Had them both.
So you short on players today, Coach?
Yeah,
If
it
people
sounds
sick?
like it. Yeah, no, we are dealing with some sickness. Got several guys that have missed this week and several out today, and some grade situations too. Honestly, some guys that are having to focus on their grades first and go to tutoring, but mostly sickness. So it's really going around. So we're hoping we can get back healthy by Friday night, but we'll see.
Well, we got, again, Fort Campbell, the Eagles rolling here. They have 4 wins, and they've got, gosh, I tell you what, they've got about a half a dozen or more kids that run the football pretty good. They've got about that many that can catch it. They just, it's just a lot of different formations, a lot of different stuff from what I saw. Tell us what you're seeing on the film about it.
Fort Knox, like you said, they got several guys that can carry the ball. A lot of athletes that stand out. Different guys carrying the ball. I don't know. They have 3 or 4 guys that are probably 300 or 400 yards rushing. Just predominantly run offense. Nice little quarterback too, though. They can make some throws and they can take some shots at you. Defensively, I think they fly around. I think up front that they block really hard. Not extremely big. We've seen a lot of size this year. This will be a team, and then of course when we get into Class A and the Class A teams, we size up a little bit better. But it's a team we match up size with a little bit better than others. But they play really hard. They get after it. I feel like they're well coached, like you said. A lot of athletes. 3-back offense predominantly, which can be a lot of misdirection and reverses, and a lot of trick plays can come out of those. They can suck you in with the play action. So they do a lot of different things that can hurt you. I think they switch up in the 2 films we have, playing a 3-man front and a 4-man front on defense. So I have to prepare for both of those. Just give you a lot. They give you a lot.
Yeah, definitely the offense. I don't know. I probably watched 30 offensive plays, maybe not even that many, and just a lot of moving parts.
Yes, there are
a lot of moving parts. But they've got you mentioned all their seniors. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 seniors in the backfield. These guys that run in and out of there. Of course, not all at one time, but number 6, number 8, number 33, 41. Then they've got 2 other running backs, number 2, number 3. They're sophomores, and the quarterback is a junior, Isaiah Morrison, and like you say, he can throw it around. And if those guys are open, they can go get it.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they're dangerous on the ground and in the air, and nice play action game, I believe. So, yeah, we're going to have to come out and play well. Play discipline, especially with the offense with that many moving parts. Got to make sure we play with good eye discipline defensively and come off the football, win the line of scrimmage, those things. Try not to give them as much time to throw in the play action game as that they would like. So, yeah, good opponent. We got to come out, good first round, and play well.
Mm-hmm. And also the quarterback, he gets under center a lot of times too.
Yeah, it's mostly under center, but they will go some. Well, I don't know. I say mostly. I feel that they really want to be in their 3-back set, like a wing T type set. But they will go in the gun, and they will run traditional spread stuff, and then some wing formations out of the gun as well. So they're very multiple, really. I don't know. I say mostly, but really when I think about it, I'm not sure. They're pretty multiple.
Yeah. I don't know, some of the plays, I couldn't tell if they were handoffs or whether they run that shovel pass like we do a lot.
Yeah, they run. It's a lot of jet motions. And then either under center or out. A lot of motion. A lot of things are predicated on motion, and they'll get the ball outside a lot, get it out there fast, and then fake getting it out there and try to throw it underneath or throw it over the top and run underneath of you. So, like I said, anytime you get a motion team, which is a lot of wing teams or a lot of heavy motion, got to make sure we play with good eye discipline or in the right spots.
So, play with discipline. What else? Who's got a click for us on the defensive side? It looks like your secondary is going to play very well, and you got to respect that run.
They're pretty balanced. I feel like the first thing we got to stop is the run. I would say linebackers. I've been on them pretty good. It's my position. I expect a lot of them. I feel like we didn't play very well last week, and we're right there to being a pretty solid group. And to go to where we want to go, they got to play better. So I've challenged them this week, and that's what I have my eyes on. Them guys really getting downhill, playing with good eyes. This is a good because they have all the ability in the world, the linebacking core, but we play with bad eyes a lot of times and end up out of position because of that. So this will be a good test for us, like you said, all the different moving parts, and see if we can play with good eye discipline and come downhill and meet the run at the line of scrimmage instead of 4 or 5 yards down the field. So that's how I got my eyes on this week, the linebacker.
Let's talk a little bit more about those linebackers. Of course, you've got Benny McDaniel, who missed several games early in the season, and he's back now and been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Briley Berry, and then that third spot, you kind of rotated a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, the third spot. Gatton usually starts in that spot and does a good job, but him and Levi and Seth Guest plays there too. So, yeah, in that third spot, a lot of rotating. And the others will rotate some too. We don't get Briley out of the game, but the other two will rotate some. So, we got, 5 guys in those 3 spots that all can do it at any given time. Any of those could be the one in there and be doing a good job. So,
and we've had some injuries, as we said, back there, and everybody's healthy this week coming into the playoffs, and that's the way you want to be. Rockets are on a roll right here, 1-4 straight, and that's where you want to be, obviously, this time of year. And we've played a pretty tough schedule this year, played especially early on.
Yeah.
And now, like you say, you get into that Class A, and it feels like we can compete with everybody we play against.
Kind of the plan, right? Like, you play a tough schedule. You hope to win them all, but you know that's a tough road. But at the end of the day, can we get on a run there when it matters? And I feel like we've done that. And where do we go now? Where do we stack up now with a tough schedule and playing those opponents and being able to get, on a run when we've played teams more like us here late? So we'll see. To right now, I feel like we're right on track to where we'd want to be if I could.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about their defense and our offense. Defensively, I think you said they kind of switch it around a little bit.
Yeah, between the 2 games, and I don't know if that's something that they normally do or Bethlehem's got such that potent passing offense, if that's why they went to the 3-man front to mix it up a little bit. And I feel like it gave them some issues. Like Bethlehem was able to, weather that and obviously end
really
up winning big.
Deep.
Yeah. But it gave them a little issues in the beginning. Just weren't able to quite execute it completely. But and then the 4-man front maybe seems like maybe they're more traditional defense. But I'm honestly not 100% sure what we're going to see. No, I don't know. I don't know when teams look at us what they think that they need to stop. I don't know because to me any given week, we're a lot different, and we got so many different guys. Are you going to say that we're a passing team, or run? I mean, in some weeks we are, and it may seem like that right now. And some weeks we're more run heavy. So I don't know. When teams look at us, I don't know what they see because at different times, I think that we look a lot different offensively.
Just as a side note here, we mentioned Bethlehem several times, and the opponent we played on the road earlier. Of course, their quarterback, Cooper Stone, I believe is his name.
Yes.
Broke his collarbone in the last game of the season against Sayre, and he I think underwent surgery this week, so he's lost for the playoffs, from what I understand.
Yeah, really good player.
Big
Class A passing leader. Micah's right behind him, but he had a great year, and I really hate to hear that. I know that. That maybe could benefit us in some type of way, but I really don't think of it that way at all. I want them to be at full strength, and I hate it for that kid. I'd like to see everybody at their best going into the playoffs and everyone healthy, and you certainly don't want a kid hurt. So it's unfortunate for him.
And Bethlehem does not play this week because Fulton County has foregone its opportunity to drive up to Bardstown and dropped out of the playoffs. So. And we were only a 3-team district on this side of the bracket anyway, and so now the top 2 seeds do not have to play over in the second district.
Yeah, kind of weird how it all came about, but yeah, that's where we're at right now.
So defensively, again, I didn't watch a whole lot of defense from them at all, but it looked like number 17, the linebacker, is pretty good, and number 8, Carlson, pretty good.
The invert, kind of the outside guy. Yeah, I agree. That's 2 guys that stood out to me as well. And 58 down the defensive line stood out. It really comes off the ball hard. They bring a lot of pressure, it seems like, in those 2 games, and 17 brings a lot of it. I believe they have a couple more inside linebackers that do a pretty good job as well. And is it 6 or 8? I get them mixed up. I believe it's 8 that plays the outside, or it could be be 6. I get 6 is the defensive end and 8 is the
Yeah.
And 8 so he stood out to me at the very beginning of the film. I thought he was a really good looking kid. Makes some good tackles on the edge, out in space, plays really well. So defensively, what they're going to do is I feel that they're going to bring a lot of pressure. Whatever
they were bringing
in.
pressure on the two film.
Yeah.
Two
So
games I
3-man
saw.
front, 4-man front really doesn't matter. I feel like we're going to get a lot of pressure and got to really be prepared for that and be able to handle it. And they can always cause you issues with the different pressures that you're getting. So
Of course, Micah's good at getting that ball out in a hurry. Too,
yeah, we got to
so
get the ball. We
can
got to have good pre-snaps reads, understand what we're seeing, and like you said,
Yeah.
Micah's did an outstanding
Yeah.
job of that and getting better and better every week. Last week, the ball was coming out on time, nearly every time it could.
Well,
So.
when you've got that many coming at your quarterback, somebody's open.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's true. We just got to make sure we know which one's going to be.
Yeah. It gets a little nerve-wracking for the quarterback
Yeah.
when you got that many. And they're kind of long. I mean, long.
Yeah,
athletes.
a lot of athletes out there. A
yeah,
lot.
long arms.
The D-line is athletic as well.
Caleb Nesbitt, of course, had such a great game last week, and he's a guy they're looking at to stop. But Preston Morganson, want to mention him. He tied the school record for touchdown receptions last week. Tied Ethan Dossett. And Ethan, all-time leading receiver, and it was the second highest yards receiving last week in the history of Rocket football, right behind Ethan's. And Ethan had 200 and some odd against Ballard.
Oh, it was a lot. Yeah. It was a state record at the time.
Yeah.
I believe someone broke it, but it was a state record at the time.
But again, the receiving core, and then Casey Case is playing well, and he caught a touchdown pass last week. Just so many guys out of that backfield. I mean, out of the receiving core.
It's a deep room, and the running back room as well. Just we feel we have a lot of weapons. We really do on every given night.
Yeah, their defense will have their hands full as well. So, again, I want to take an opportunity here to recognize some of our partners. Of course, Farmers Bank and Trust in Marion, 2 locations here, and 8 more across West Kentucky. Deer Lakes Golf Course. It's Rick Hughes. He's the pro down at Deer Lake. Stop in and tell him you're a Rocket football fan. You might even get it round free. I don't know. La Delicia Mexican Restaurant, Darben Plaza. Y'all eat? I've seen y'all. And Par 4 Plastics, Injection Molding Company here in Marion, Kentucky. Sea Plant Federal Credit Union in Marion on Main Street. H&H Home and Hardware. It's hardware and much more. It's like a department store out there. The Heritage Golf and Pool. They have golf, pool, mulligans, and disc golf. And Clark's Marion True Value, full lumber yard in the back. Let's turn our attention to these fine guests we have here and hear a little from Laycee and Callie. First of all, let's just start with the senior. We'll start with Callie, and tell us, Callie, why do you enjoy, or how long have you been a manager? I guess first off,
I joined after the first game last year. I believe it was against Webster, and I was in the pep section, and I saw Laycee and Mallory down there, and I knew that
they look lonely.
And it could be a place that I would enjoy.
Yeah. Now, what made you think that that's something you wanted to do?
Well, I think everybody here knows Jeremy Dempsey.
One of the biggest Rocket fans in Crittenden County, her dad, Jeremy Dempsey.
Yeah.
And Mom Rose is a big fan.
Yeah,
as well.
she's there. She's just not as loud. He passed his love down for football, I guess, and I started learning it my freshman year and knew that I wanted to be a part of it in any way I could.
Well, and you were the quarterback of the
Powder
Puff champion senior group. Did you see? Were you out there, Coach?
We get stuck in the concession stand. I was trying to catch some plays.
She was slinging it around a little bit, man.
I believe it.
Yeah, she's looking pretty good back there at QB. So, Laycee, tell us about your life in the managerial role.
Well, this is my 5th year doing it, and I think it's just, I don't know, Lindsay always did it.
Now, you didn't fail a grade, so you've been in high school 5 years.
No.
You were doing this in middle school as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my cousin did it, my mom did it when she was in high school, and then my sister did it through middle school and high school. And so I was always there with Lindsay during summer practice, and I just kind of fell into it, I guess.
Of course, your mom, dad, Troy, and Amy. Lynn, of course, Amy she's got a lot of football in her family too, the Motts. Denny Mott and all that. He's in the Hall. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. If he's not, he should be, and he will be. I believe he is. But he was a great running back. Of course, Chad Mott is in the Hall of Fame. Played at Murray State, and so a lot of the Motts. That football runs deep in the Mott family. So tell us, bounce back over here, Callie. Tell us some of the responsibilities of a manager. I mean, we see you're the ball girl on the sideline. So I don't know if people recognize this, but just almost every play, I mean, we're switching balls out. You've got to be on point, particularly when you change possessions and.
Yeah, that's during games. That's my job. Laycee deals with water and Gatorade during games, and as well as Destiny, and Landon helps out in any way he can. During games ball, we do laundry, water, Band-Aids, wrapping tape, anything that they can think of they know to come to us.
Is this something you would like to pursue, some sort of sports in college or anything like that?
I've thought about it pretty heavily. I haven't fully decided yet. Depending on where I go, it'll depend on a lot of that. But I've thought about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities out there with college football programs and such. So, what responsibilities come to mind for you, Lace?
Really, laundry.
That's your favorite. Is that why it comes?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Love doing laundry. That's just what. Laundry, water for sure. Taping is so many people need their stuff taped up, and it's just so random. I don't really understand how taping even works, but they always come and they need their ankles or their.
So are you a certified
fingers.
taping technician?
I should be. How many times I've done it?
Yeah. So we'll go back to the laundry since that's your favorite part. Who's the cleanest guy on this team? Whose laundry doesn't even need to be done? Wash at the end of practice or game day.
I'd say Micah.
He's
Gabe.
clean.
Micah's clean. The quarterback, he comes off the field. Coach, that's kind of odd.
I think they just
Good.
they
At least the O-line's doing something right.
They don't make an effort to get dirty.
Yeah.
Like Case or Sam will want to be dirty. They want to be on the ground.
Empostado. So the dirtiest are.
I would say Case is pretty bad,
Briley
which I do
Berry.
have. Oh, yeah.
It's
We've
Briley's.
scrubbed Case and Briley's jerseys a few
They
times.
need new
Those
jerseys.
guys are all over the field, too.
They
They
always got
really
some
are.
blood and eye paint. There was eye paint. We don't
Yeah.
allow it anymore.
Yeah.
You don't allow
Goodness.
them.
Eye paint is
Goodness.
gone.
Is that because it was too tough on these girls to clean
Well,
it up?
it's a
everywhere.
mess. It's a
everywhere.
mess. Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So, tell me this: what is the oddest thing that anybody has ever came to the equipment room and asked for? You're up first.
After a game, a couple games ago, Bennett McDaniel and Casey Cates asked if we could cut the tape off of their ankles and feet, and that was probably the weirdest thing I've had to do for them.
Are you
That
not a
was-
foot person?
It doesn't bother me that much, but it was a little weird. I was like, why am I doing this? Why did I end up here?
Daddy, his love for football. And you
Yeah,
end up cutting
yeah.
tape off of
Thank you,
a
Dad.
young boy's feet.
Thank you, Dad, for that.
All right, Lace, what's the oddest request you've had?
Baby powder for the insides of their legs.
Baby powder?
Yeah. That counts. Needs it all the time, and I never have it.
You sure he doesn't like you patting on him a little bit?
I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I don't know where he needs it, but I ain't doing it.
So, what do you think about this football team this year? How's it been? Sometimes you get along with everybody. I mean, how's it been for you two as managers with these guys? You really grow to be a family, don't you?
Yeah. We're really close this year. None of them are mean to. I mean, not mean, but none of them are rude to
They
us.
keep their attitudes away from us.
Yeah, and so, like you said, we're a family.
There are some attitudes on this team, though, right? You have to play football with an attitude,
little
right, Coach
bit.
Courtney?
Yeah, I wish that we could draw them back a little bit.
You just gotta get them straight. If
I
they
told-
give you attitude, you gotta give it back.
I told Preston one day, I said, I think it's hilarious how you'll give one of the other players attitude and then turn around, please and thank you, to us. It's just funny how
Well, that's
quickly it
definitely the way
flips.
it should be. If there's
Yeah.
going to be a way, we definitely need
Yeah.
that to be that way.
We'll take just a moment again and recognize some of our partners who make this possible for us to have these beautiful, hardworking young ladies in here, as well as Coach Courtney and everyone else. We appreciate all those who make this possible. Of course, Mark Williams and Whitetail Properties. Full Body Fitness Studio, Serena Dickerson, and she's you see her around the locker room quite a bit, don't you, girls? Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, it's locally owned, right here in Marion, family owned. Colonel Ag Repair, Corey and Derek Colonel. It's time for those tractors and all to be out in the fields. If you need help, call the Colonel boys at Colonel Ag Repair. And YTG Insurance, that's former Rocket Tanner Tabor for all of your insurance needs. Coach Courtney, this week again, Fort Knox. They're on Eastern time, so they lose an hour, and we're going to start this game at 6:30 p.m. Any change in the way you'll go about preparing? It's just 30 minutes, but
just move everything.
Yeah, kids don't get quite as long after school. I know they get back. They usually get back to the campus after they go eat pretty early anyway, don't they?
Yeah, most of the time. Most of them do. It's like a tradition, 5 o'clock special teams check ever since Coach started. So anywhere we go, if we're on the road, whatever, we want to be at the special teams check at 5 o'clock. So that'll be a little different because it'll have to be at 4:30 this week. But and then outside of that, just move everything up 30 minutes. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal, especially with it being at home. I think that we'll be able to adjust just fine.
Price of tickets go up a little bit this week.
$7 on ticket lead. No passes at all are accepted.
Does that include coaches' cards?
Yeah, coaches' cards.
Are not accepted.
Are not.
Yeah,
I
don't
believe,
think they are either.
I believe not.
I believe
in the playoffs, it's a little bit. It's not us. We would love to continue to accept them, but just the playoff rule because the gate has to be split and this and that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, we're not allowed to take any passes this week. What's also the WPSD game of the week. I don't know if you saw that or not. So it's 6 o'clock, right?
Yes, 6 o'clock, and the theme's Cowboys versus Aliens.
Cowboys versus Aliens.
The cheerleaders are excited about the band.
Cowboys versus Aliens. So I assume you dress as one of those?
Yeah, you pick one. There's going to be some pretty cool pictures taken of the pep section for our pep page.
Yeah.
We really need all the kids to show out and show up. It's a big deal for them to come here, and it'll be cool doing the little pregame show. So they ask all of our students. They don't just have to be high school either, middle school, elementary, just all of our young fans to be out there at 6 o'clock.
Now, where will
Cowboys
that be?
And Aliens.
Will that be inside the arena, or will it be out?
It'll be inside, but I don't know exactly where they're going to set up. They asked to get
in an end zone or something.
Yeah, I would say that they would be down there.
So will the kids have to come buy tickets for that, or do you clear? How does that work?
What do you mean?
Well, anybody that comes to the students get in free. They have to pay.
Yeah, they'll get their tickets and then just come in the gate like normal, and then it'll be inside.
So anybody that comes to this will have to be ticketed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, WPSD game of the week and that's a big deal. It's like getting up on Saturday morning and watching college game day show. Yeah. So this is the second time we've been part of one of those this year.
Yeah, but first time at home, so we really want to
first time at home and
be the best.
Yeah, we want to get out and support your Rockets. And be there for the opening round of the play. It's going to be beautiful weather again. What's the best weather we've had
playoff weather
for the whole time? Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. It could turn off bitterly cold
soon. Yeah,
and we kind of like to see it sometime.
I would. Yes, I would.
All right, so Rockets host Fort Knox this week. Come out and see your Crittenden County boys in action. First round of the playoffs, and we expect to go a long way this year. We'll see you Friday night, 6 o'clock for the pregame deal. And then 6:30 is kickoff. We'll see you at Rocket State.